got a question for you. Have you ever been sitting down with your friends when you hear a car rip by and it takes your attention away? But when it comes to your own car, maybe it's just not cutting it. I feel you. And I bet you think to get that badass sound, you need to shell out thousands of dollars and toss your keys to some shady mechanic to achieve that better sound. But believe it or not, that is not the case. Because, well, in this video, I'm gonna go over some of the best ways to make your car sound better without having to fork over thousands of dollars on a new exhaust. But anyway, you want to stay till the end because our last way is 100% free. So if you're new here, my name's Brad Danger. This is Ideal Cars. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell because, well, we have more Ideal content coming at you pretty much every single day. Buckle up and let's go. Real quick, I gotta thank today's sponsor, Fixed. And if you've been watching Ideal for any amount of time, you know that we love Ideal cars. And most Ideal cars come without a warranty. So when the check engine light comes on, it's a scary sight. But worry no more, let me show you. You see, the check engine light comes on a little too often in the Porsche, but lucky for me, this little guy takes up no space in the glove box. And all I gotta do is plug it into the OBD2 port and it works on any vehicle from 1996 or newer. And voila, you know exactly what's wrong with your vehicle. And the best part is it connects directly to your phone via Bluetooth and it'll tell you exactly what's wrong with your car in plain English. So that means no more going to the mechanic and not trusting them with your car. Oof. I don't know if that's gonna buff out. Now, normally Fixed is 60 bucks, which is a great value. But right now, using the link down in the description and the first comment, it's only $19.99 plus free shipping while supplies last. Okay, it's pouring out. I'm getting out of here. And that's an incredible deal. And if I were you, I'd snag a couple of them because they make perfect gifts for non-car people. So click the link in the description or the first comment and snag them before they're all gone. And thanks again, Fixed, for sponsoring today's video and making that pesky little check engine light a little less frightening. Now, let's start off with probably the easiest and one of the cheapest ways to get more sound out of any car, and that is to change the air intake. From cheap drop-in filters to full intake systems, not only will this modification produce extra sound, but also a little bit of extra power as well. Now, run to the AutoZone, drop a couple bucks on a new filter, and listen to your box roar. While, yeah, it might not be much louder, it will add induction noise to any car. And, well, add turbo flutter to turbo cars. All for the cheap price of cheap. Stock airboxes or intakes are generally much more restrictive than aftermarket ones, and it can actually cause you to lose horsepower. Not only that, it will muffle the sound of the intake to keep the car quieter when accelerating. Add yourself a drop-in filter from performance companies like K&N, and not only will you likely see a small performance gain, but you're also gonna unlock a little bit of intake noise. So for around 50 bucks, the added performance and sound might make it worth it for you. But if you truly want to maximize the power and the sound, you gotta do a full intake system. Now, a full intake system can run anywhere from $150 to about $300. But not only do they sound better, they also pick up anywhere from 5 to 20 horsepower. So regardless, whether you just do a drop-in filter or a whole intake system, your car's gonna sound better. But once the air has gone into the engine, it's gotta come out of your engine through the headers or downpipes. Depending on the heads of your engine, it determines if your car has headers or downpipes. Most cars come from the factory with a restrictive exhaust manifold, merging all the exhaust ports as soon as possible. While this method is widely used, it's definitely not the best for sound or performance. Add in a new downpipe or headers to really make your car purr. Pair the new collectors with high flow cats and man, your car will scream. While downpipes and headers really do help the sound, they aren't the cheapest modification on this list. Generally, you're gonna need at least $100 for downpipes, and headers start at around 200. And of course, the type of engine that you have is going to determine how much it costs. But this is generally where most of the noise for an exhaust is robbed. So change it out and listen to your car's new howl. Once the exhaust gases leave the headers or downpipe, where does the gases travel to next? The mid-pipe crisis. Generally composed of the rear catalytic converters, the resonators, or even crossover pipes if it's a dual exhaust system. From simply deleting what's there to adding additional or changing pieces can dramatically affect the way that your car sounds. Making the diameter of the pipe bigger can also change the sound as well. On a dual exhaust system, the mid-pipe generally houses a crossover pipe where both sides of the exhaust can join to even out the flow of the exhaust gases, which cause scavenging to help boost as much power as possible. Some crossovers include an H-pipe, an X-pipe, a double H, a double X, and more. By simply changing the type or number of crossovers can completely change the sound coming out of your engine. Adding resonators or deleting them can really change the tone of the car and make it feel so much more exotic. Now, deleting your rear cats will always wake up your car as well. And all these modifications can be done for less than $100. And while your crossover pipe and mid-pipe generally won't affect the loudness of your car, the mufflers definitely will. Mufflers are probably the most common type of exhaust modification. This is because most mufflers are cheap and just kind of universal. Just nail the exhaust diameter inlet and outlets and choose your muffler. You can even buy mufflers as cheap as $30. And from simple single chamber to more complex multi-chamber mufflers, chances are that you will be able to achieve the sound that you like with a simpler muffler change. Now, if you want your car to be louder for cheap, chances are you will delete your muffler altogether. A muffler delete is a very common modification for a lot of cars. And while it sure can sound good, it's not always the case. You see, some people are much better off scouring the web and searching YouTube for clips of cars with aftermarket mufflers to suit their tastes. And unlike full exhaust systems that cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars, a simple muffler change will cost a fraction of a full system. Adding different mufflers can dramatically change the sound of your car and make it louder or even quieter if that's what you're going for. But don't kid yourself, guys. No one is doing that. You want to have it loud and proud and enjoy your car. So find a muffler that works well with your application and you won't even have to hassle with any other of these modifications. While changing up a muffler probably won't gain you any power or performance, it can sure make your car sound the way that you want it. So it can stand out from a crowd. Generally now, mufflers are placed near the end of your exhaust system. But when you're changing them up, you can put them anywhere that you'd like to achieve the sound that you're looking for. A great thing about mufflers is that there are so many different choices and styles to go for, and all of them will alter your exhaust note uniquely. And luckily, the same thing can be said about resonators. What are those? Well, they're essentially straight through mufflers with a perforated outer shell with packing and a solid outer casting. What? Well, they just seem like a more expensive muffler starting at around $40. Yeah, I know it's a bit confusing, but they only have one job, and that is to eliminate rasp, like the E46 M3, super raspy. While they're typically able to do that, they typically take away a bit of the noise as well. But if you ask me, that's a small price to pay to get your rice rocket to sound beastly. And while most people throw their mufflers and resonators towards the end of the exhaust system, it isn't actually the last thing that affects the sound in your exhaust. That's the tips of your exhaust. Surprisingly, your exhaust tips can change the sound of your exhaust. By changing the size or number of exhaust tips, you can really change the sound coming out of your car. Exhaust tips come in all different shapes and sizes, and changing them up can add an aesthetic appeal as well as better sound. Get crazy and throw on some huge blast pipes, or go subtle and stay small. The sound of your car will change completely. Some exhaust tips are even resonated to reduce even more rasp, which can help a lot because your exhaust tips act like horns or trumpets, where if it starts small and ends big to amplify the sound, and it's gonna make it louder. And most of the time, you can just hop on Amazon and find a tip to fit your style for relatively inexpensive. But what is more exciting than finding exhaust tips on Amazon? Well, it's finding a whole entire exhaust system. You got Amazon, you got eBay, you got Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, and junkyards. Yes, junkyards are a great spot to find yourself used exhaust systems made specifically for your car. As far as actual systems, Borla, MagnaFlow, Flowmaster, and many others that cost hundreds or even thousands can be found for major steals, generally costing hundreds less than what they would cost to buy new. They still might not be exactly cheap, but they do come with steep discounts of nearly 50 to 70% off of new. And that's a win in my book because, well, when you go to sell the car, you can sell the exhaust for probably what you bought it for. Put the stock exhaust back on and get even more money for your car. But you know what's better than cheap? So what about free? Sounds pretty good to me, right? And you? Yeah. Well, if you remove some or all of your sound deadening, you'll add noise for free and you'll reduce weight. So tear up your carpet, gut your interior, and make your way to your pesky sound deadening. Generally, it's just this piece of foam made to make the cabin of your interior quieter. Pull it out and you'll hear more exhaust for free. Do I need to repeat myself? Free, like free 99. Yes, not a dime. But if you do gut your interior and remove your sound deadening, you will also hear more road noise. You know, rocks hitting the inside of your fenders and mechanical noises from your engine and transmission. But hey, you know what? It's free. So what more can you ask for? Honestly, what are you waiting for? Go out and experiment with your exhaust. And then tag our Instagram at IdealCarsOfficial once you post a video of it so that we can hear it too. It's proven that it only takes a little bit of time and very little money to make your exhaust exactly the way that you want it. And so what part of the exhaust are you looking to change up on your ideal car? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up and also subscribe if you're new here. Turn on that notification bell because having an exhaust that you like listening to will make you drive more and it'll make you enjoy that ideal car even more. And then when you're ready to move up into your next ideal car, definitely use the ideal car strategies, which if you paid cash for your last car, you're doing it all wrong. So check out the free webinar down below in the description where I go over my 7 rookie mistakes I see people make all of the time when trying to buy an ideal car and make money enjoying it. I make money enjoying my ideal cars and you should too. Check out the webinar, and if the paid curriculum looks like something that you want to join today or next week or next year, well, it's one of the best decisions that you can make. Thank you for watching this video, you guys, and say it with me, keep living the ideal lifestyle.